My people, we didn't wait for the world's help. We built these toll stations with our own hands and our own pride. This is Burkina Faso's future, starting right here on our roads.
Imagine a dusty highway stretching across a small country that the world rarely talks about. There are no big speeches, no fancy ceremonies with foreign leaders, just a new sign and a toll booth standing where none existed before. This is how change began in Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa. It's not just a story about roads or tolls. It's about a country standing up, building its own future, and showing the world what's possible. 3 toll stations, Bhutenga, Tintaloo, and Kotadugu, appeared like miracles in a place often ignored. They weren't built with foreign loans or donations. They were built by Burkina Faso's own people, with their own money, in the middle of tough times like sanctions, conflict, and poverty. Led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré, this is the story of how a nation stopped waiting for help and started creating something real. Let's dive into this incredible journey, step by step, to see how these toll stations are more than just booths. They're a symbol of hope, pride, and a new way forward for Africa. It all started quietly, with dust on a highway. There were no loud announcements, no international conferences, no ribbon-cutting ceremonies with TV cameras. Instead, change began with a single toll station appearing one day in Bhutenga, right on National Route 4. Then another showed up in Tintaloo, then a third in Kotadugu. 3 modern toll booths standing tall in a country the world often calls poor or unstable. These weren't ordinary toll booths. They had clean lanes, glass windows, and electronic systems that scanned vehicles and printed receipts. Drivers passing through slowed down, not just to pay, but to stare in amazement. Some thought it was a dream. Others wondered if it was just for show, a temporary structure that would soon fall apart. But they were wrong. These toll stations were real, and they worked. The receipts printed, the traffic flowed smoothly, and the staff showed up every day. This wasn't just a road project, it was the start of a quiet revolution that would change how people see Burkina Faso. The first toll station in Bhutenga caught everyone's attention. It appeared almost overnight, not with whispers or promises, but with solid structure. 6 open lanes, digital payment systems, and a sign that proudly read Poste de Péage de Bhutenga. No foreign donor names, no flags from faraway countries, just Burkina Faso claiming what it built. Soon, Tintaloo and Kotadugu followed, each just as modern and efficient. These weren't makeshift checkpoints thrown together for a photo opportunity. They were professional, precise, and built to serve the people. Drivers blinked in awe as they passed through, not just because the stations were new, but because they represented something bigger, a country taking charge of its own destiny. To understand why these toll stations are such a big deal, we need to know a bit about Burkina Faso. It's a small landlocked country in West Africa surrounded by 6 neighbors: Mali, Niger, Benin, Togo, Ghana, and Côte d'Ivoire. With no coastline, it's cut off from easy trade routes. It's one of the poorest countries in the world according to global rankings, with many of its 20 million people living on less than a few dollars a day. For years, Burkina Faso has faced huge challenges: terrorism in the north, economic sanctions from regional groups like the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and isolation from international institutions it once relied on. The world often painted Burkina Faso as a place of chaos, corruption, or poverty, a country that couldn't get things done. For decades, Burkina Faso was told to wait. Wait for foreign aid to fix its problems. Wait for loans to build its roads. Wait for permission to develop. But waiting didn't help. It didn't fix the potholes that made travel dangerous. It didn't help farmers get their crops to market before they spoiled. It didn't make it easier for students to get to school or for ambulances to reach hospitals. The world wasn't watching Burkina Faso closely. News stories focused on its struggles, not its potential. But while the world looked away, something incredible was happening. Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who took power in 2022 during a time of crisis, Burkina Faso decided it was done waiting. Instead of begging for help, the country started building. Those 3 toll stations, Bhutenga, Tintaloo, and Kotadugu, are proof that Burkina Faso is rewriting its own story, one where it controls its future. What makes these toll stations so special? They were built without foreign money. In many African countries, big projects like roads, bridges, or hospitals come with a catch. They're often funded by loans from foreign banks like the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund, or by governments from faraway places like Europe or Asia. These loans come with high interest rates or strict conditions, rules about how the money can be spent or what policies the country must follow. Sometimes a new bridge is built, but it comes with a plaque thanking a foreign country. A hospital might open, but the debt to pay for it lasts for decades. When the roads crack or the buildings need repairs, the foreign donors are often nowhere to be found, leaving the country to struggle alone. Burkina Faso said no to that cycle. These toll stations weren't paid for by foreign loans or donations. They were built with Burkina Faso's own money, managed by a local institution called the Fonds Spécial Routier du Burkina Faso, Road Special Fund. This fund, led by Theyre, collects money from the tolls and uses it to maintain and improve the country's roads. No foreign consultants flew in to tell Burkina Faso what to do. No foreign flags were raised at the opening ceremonies. There were no plaques thanking countries thousands of miles away, just Burkina Faso building for itself. This is a big deal because it means sovereignty, real independence. For too long, development in Africa has come with foreign signatures. A new road might be named after a foreign donor. A school might have a sign thanking a distant government. But in Burkina Faso, these toll stations belong to the people. They're a symbol of a country taking charge of its own destiny, without owing anyone anything. The money stays in Burkina Faso, the responsibility stays in Burkina Faso, and the pride stays in Burkina Faso. At the heart of this story is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's leader. He came to power in 2022 during a turbulent time when the country was facing terrorism, economic struggles, and sanctions. Many leaders would have waited for things to calm down before starting big projects. They might have spent their time giving speeches, asking for foreign help, or attending international meetings to beg for funds. Not Traoré. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't wait for approval from foreign capitals. He just started building. While other countries were writing reports about feasibility studies or booking hotel rooms for donor conferences, Traoré was sending out construction crews. While others were drafting proposals to please foreign banks, Burkina Faso was laying pavement. This kind of leadership is rare. It's not loud or flashy, it's quiet and effective. Traoré understood that a country can't wait for peace to build roads. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never start. So he acted, and the results are there for everyone to see. 3 toll stations, standing strong, working smoothly, and proving that Burkina Faso can do it alone. Traoré's approach is a lesson in courage. He didn't just talk about sovereignty, he showed it. He didn't just promise better roads, he built them. He didn't wait for the world to notice Burkina Faso. He made the world notice. And he did it all in the middle of a storm with terrorism, sanctions, and economic hardship pressing in from all sides. That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not about waiting for the right moment, it's about creating the right moment. To understand how big this change is, we need to look at Burkina Faso's past. For years, the country's roads told a sad story. They were full of potholes, cracked before they were even finished, or washed away by the first rains. People got used to dodging more than just potholes. They dodged broken promises. Leaders would announce new roads with big ceremonies, complete with speeches, banners, and ribbon cutting. The newspapers would cover it, the president would smile for the cameras, and everyone would cheer. But months later, the bulldozers would disappear, the workers would leave, and the roads would stay unfinished. Weeds would grow over the gravel, and the dreams of better roads would fade away. Toll stations, if they existed at all, were often just concrete boxes or makeshift checkpoints. A man might sit at a wooden table, collecting cash with no receipts, no system, and no way to know where the money went. Drivers paid, but the roads stayed broken. Trust disappeared. People joked that the tolls collected more money than the roads ever gave back. Across Africa, toll systems have struggled, not because the idea of tolls is bad, but because the systems were often corrupt or poorly managed. Money vanished, and roads crumbled. People got used to promises that sounded big but delivered nothing. They heard speeches about new highways, saw ceremonies with shiny scissors, but then watched as the projects stalled. The roads became metaphors for governance that looked good on paper, but left people stuck in the same place. This wasn't just Burkina Faso's story. It was the story of many African countries. For decades, development in Africa has been tied to foreign money. A new bridge might come with a foreign flag. A hospital might come with a debt that lasts generations. Leaders would announce projects with big fanfare, but the results were often disappointing. The people of Burkina Faso were tired of waiting, tired of promises, tired of roads that led nowhere. But now something different is happening in Burkina Faso. The toll stations in Bhutenga, Tintaloo and Kotadugu are rewriting that old story. They're not just booths, they're modern, high-tech and built to last. Each station has clean lanes, glass windows and electronic systems that make everything smooth and honest. When a vehicle passes through, the system records it in real time, charges the right toll based on the vehicle type, like a car, bus or truck, and prints a receipt instantly. All the data goes into a national database, so there's no room for corruption. No more handwritten ledgers, no more cash disappearing into someone's pocket. Everything is automated, transparent and accountable. The station in Bhutenga, on National Route 4, was the first to open. It has 6 lanes, handles multiple vehicle types, and uses digital payment systems. Above the station, a sign reads Poste de Page de Bhutenga. No donor names, no foreign flags, just Burkina Faso claiming what it built. Then came Tintaloo and Kotadugu, each just as modern and efficient. These aren't makeshift checkpoints thrown together for a photo opportunity. They're professional, precise, and designed to serve the people. Drivers passing through don't just pay a fee, they see a system that works, and it makes them proud. They see clean lanes, hear the beep of electronic scanners, and hold a receipt that proves their money is going somewhere real. Let's dive into the technology behind these toll stations because it's a big part of what makes them special. Each station is equipped with smart electronic systems that do a lot more than just collect money. They track traffic in real time, so if a highway is getting busy, the system knows it. They categorize vehicles to charge the right toll. Cars pay less, trucks pay more, and so on. They print receipts instantly so drivers have proof of payment. And all this data feeds into a centralized national database, which means every penny is accounted for. This is a huge change from the past, when toll money often disappeared. In the old days, a toll collector might pocket the cash, or the money might vanish into a ministry with no explanation. Now, with digital payments and transparent data, corruption is much harder. The system is boringly honest, and that's why it's brilliant. It's not just about fancy machines, it's about trust. Drivers know their money is going to fix the roads, not someone's bank account. And if a road needs repairs or a new safety barrier, the system flags it, so the work gets done. What's even more impressive is that this technology is run by Burkina Faso's own people. No foreign companies were hired to build or manage these systems. Local engineers, staff, and finance experts make it all happen. They were trained to operate the electronic systems, maintain the equipment, and audit the data. This is what sovereignty looks like, not just owning the roads, but owning the knowledge and skills to keep them running. It's a system that's built to last, because it's built by the people who use it every day. The heart of this system is the Fonds Spécial Routier du Burkina Faso, or Road Special Fund. Led by Théodore Ouédraogo, this fund collects the money from the tolls and uses it to maintain and improve Burkina Faso's roads. It's a locally governed institution. No flashy ads, no international consultants, just a quiet commitment to doing the job right. The fund makes sure the money stays in the country, so the responsibility stays in the country too. This is a big shift from the past, when toll systems were often linked to corruption. In many African countries, people pay tolls, but the roads still crumble, the money disappears, and no one knows where it went. In Burkina Faso, the Road Special Fund is changing that. The tolls are collected fairly, the data is tracked, and the money goes back into the roads, fixing potholes, adding safety barriers, improving signage, and keeping the highways in good shape. It's a cycle that works because it's built on accountability, not aid. The fund is also sustainable. It doesn't rely on foreign loans or donors who might pull out when times get tough. Instead, it uses the money from drivers, people who use the roads every day to keep the system going. If you drive on the road, you help pay for it. If you help pay for it, you deserve a better road. It's a simple idea, but it's revolutionary because it puts the power back in Burkina Faso's hands. The fund isn't just about money, it's about trust, responsibility, and pride. You might be wondering, why build toll stations now? Burkina Faso is facing huge challenges: terrorism in the north, inflation that makes everything more expensive, sanctions from regional groups like ECOWAS, and isolation from international institutions. Why not wait for a better time when things are calmer? The answer is simple. Captain Traoré and his government believe dignity can't wait. A country can't fight for sovereignty with speeches or military parades alone. If the roads are broken, if farmers can't get their goods to market, if students can't get to school, then sovereignty is incomplete. Traore's team didn't wait for perfect conditions. They built in the middle of a storm, because true leadership doesn't wait for clear skies. It creates them. These toll stations are a line in the sand, a message to the world. Burkina Faso is no longer waiting to be rescued. It's rescuing itself. And that's a powerful statement, especially in a continent where loans often come with heavy strings attached. By building now in the middle of hardship, Burkina Faso is showing that progress doesn't need permission, it needs action. Imagine a farmer in Bhutenga. Let's call her Aissata. For years she struggled to get her tomatoes to the market in Ouagadougou, the capital. The roads were so bad that her truck would get stuck, or the tomatoes would bruise and rot before she could sell them. She'd lose money, and her family would go hungry. But now, with the new toll station and better roads, Aissata's tomatoes make it to market fresh. She pays a small toll, but she knows the money is helping keep the roads smooth. For Aissata, the toll station isn't just a booth, it's a lifeline. It's a sign that her country is working for her, not against her. These toll stations aren't just about collecting money, they're about collecting responsibility. For too long, governance in Africa has been about elections or checkpoints, not service. But these toll stations are different. They're a sign that the government is working for the people. Local communities near Bhutenga, Tintaloo, and Kotadugu report better roads, fewer bribery checkpoints, and more reliable transport routes. Farmers like Aissata can get their crops to market faster, which means less food goes to waste. Traders can deliver products more cheaply, which helps businesses grow and keeps prices lower for customers. Students can spend less time walking dusty roads and more time in school, learning and dreaming of a better future. This is what makes the toll stations a revolution. They're not just infrastructure, they're a new way of thinking. They show that Burkina Faso can budget, build, and manage its own systems. They show that sovereignty isn't just a flag or a speech, it's a road maintained without calling Paris or Washington. It's a booth that collects funds for the people, not for foreign donors. And it's happening now, not someday after endless promises. Let's think about a driver named Musa, who transports goods between Ouagadougou and Bobo Dioulasso. In the past, Musa dreaded the journey. The roads were full of potholes, and every few kilometers he'd face a checkpoint where someone demanded a bribe. The trip took hours longer than it should, and the bribes ate into his profits. Now, with the new toll stations, Musa's journey is smoother. The roads are better, the checkpoints are gone, and the tolls are fair. He gets a receipt every time he pays, and he knows the money is going to keep the roads in good shape. For Musa, the toll stations aren't just a place to pay, they're a sign that things are finally changing. When these toll stations opened, the world didn't throw a party. There were no breaking news alerts on global networks, no special coverage on TV. Why? Because the world didn't expect this from Burkina Faso. It's easier to talk about poverty or chaos when it fits the old narrative of Africa as a place that can't get things done. But what happens when a nation under pressure builds smarter than countries at peace? What happens when a landlocked, sanctioned country builds toll stations that put some major African highways to shame? The world's silence isn't confusion, it's disbelief. These toll stations don't fit the story of a poor or failed nation. They show that Burkina Faso isn't waiting for help, it's acting. And that makes people uncomfortable, because it means the excuses are over. If Burkina Faso can build modern toll stations without foreign loans, what else can it do? What else can Africa do? The world isn't ready to answer that question, but Burkina Faso is already showing the answer, one toll booth at a time. To see how big this is, let's compare Burkina Faso to other African countries. In many places, toll roads exist, but they often come with problems. In Nigeria, for example, some toll gates have been criticized for poor management. Drivers pay, but the roads stay bad, and no one knows where the money goes. In Kenya, a major highway project was funded by foreign loans, but the debt has caused economic strain, and the government struggles to maintain the roads without more borrowing. In South Africa, toll roads are modern, but they're often run by private companies, and the fees are too high for many ordinary people. Burkina Faso's model is different. The toll stations are fully owned and operated by the government, with no foreign companies or loans involved. The fees are affordable, and the money goes straight to the Road Special Fund, which is transparent and accountable. The technology is simple but effective, and it's run by local staff, not foreign contractors. This makes Burkina Faso's toll stations a model that other African countries could follow, a way to build infrastructure without selling your future. Take Ghana, Burkina Faso's neighbor. Ghana has toll roads, but many were scrapped in 2021 because of corruption and public complaints. The money collected didn't always go to road maintenance, and drivers felt cheated. Burkina Faso learned from this. Its toll stations use digital systems to ensure every penny is tracked. There are no shady middlemen, no mysterious bank accounts. The system is open, and the results are visible. Better roads, fewer bribes, and a sense of trust that's rare in many African toll systems. The toll stations are already making a difference. Local communities near Bhutenga, Tintaloo, and Kotadugu report smoother roads, fewer bribery checkpoints, and more reliable transport routes. Farmers can get their goods to market faster, which means less food rots before it's sold. Traders can deliver products more cheaply, which helps businesses grow and keeps prices lower for customers. Students can spend less time walking dusty roads and more time in school, learning and dreaming of a better future. Let's imagine a student named Fatimata, who lives near Tintaloo. Every morning she used to walk 5 kilometers to school because the roads were too bad for buses to come to her village. The journey was long and tiring, and sometimes she missed class because of rain or dust storms. Now, with the new toll station and better roads, a bus comes to her village every day. Fatimata gets to school on time, with energy to learn. She dreams of becoming a doctor, and the toll station is helping her get there, not just by improving the road, but by showing her that her country can achieve big things. These changes are small but powerful. They make people feel like their country is working for them. Drivers passing through these toll stations don't just pay a fee, they see a system that works. The receipts print, the traffic flows, and the roads get better. It's a small change that feels huge because it shows what's possible when a country believes in itself. For the first time, people feel like they're part of something bigger. They're not just paying tolls, they're investing in their country's future. And that kind of pride can't be bought with foreign loans. It has to be earned through hard work, through action, through results. The toll stations in Bhutenga, Tintaloo, and Kotadugu are just the beginning. They're not the end goal. They're the first step. They prove that Burkina Faso can build, manage, and sustain its own systems. They show that a country can be independent, even in tough times, and they're setting a new standard for Africa. In time, these toll stations could connect regions that have been divided for years. They could lead to new trade routes, making it easier for Burkina Faso to sell its goods to neighboring countries like Mali or Ghana. They could mean safer roads for ambulances, faster routes for buses, and better access to schools and hospitals. They could create jobs, not just for construction workers, but for engineers, accountants, and tech experts who manage the systems. But the real impact isn't just in the roads, it's in the mindset. These toll stations are proof that Burkina Faso doesn't need to beg for its future. It can build it, and that idea is spreading. Across Africa, people are watching, leaders are noticing, young people are asking, if Burkina Faso can do it, why can't we? This is how a revolution starts. Not with loud protests or big promises, but with quiet, stubborn action, with steel, glass, and sensors, with a toll booth that works. Imagine a future where Burkina Faso's roads connect every corner of the country. Farmers in remote villages can sell their crops in big cities. Students in rural areas can get to school without walking for hours. Doctors can reach patients faster, saving lives. Businesses can grow, creating jobs and lifting families out of poverty. This isn't just a dream, it's a plan, and the toll stations are the first step. They show that Burkina Faso can start small and build big, one road at a time. Burkina Faso's toll stations are a call to the rest of Africa. They say, you don't need to wait for permission. You don't need to borrow money. You can't repay. You don't need to follow someone else's rules. You can budget. You can build. You can manage. You can be sovereign. Other countries are starting to listen. Citizens are starting to demand more. The old excuses, poverty, chaos, dependency, are falling apart. Burkina Faso is showing that the only thing you need to start is the will to begin. This is the future Africa has been talking about for decades. It's not a dream anymore. It's real. It's in the smooth lanes of Bhutenga. It's in the digital receipts of Tintaloo. It's in the steady hum of traffic in Kotadugu. It's in the Burkina Faso flag flying over toll stations built by local hands with local money for local people. This is sovereignty you can touch, see, and drive on, and it's just the beginning. Across the continent, other leaders are taking notice. In Mali, where roads are also a challenge, people are talking about Burkina Faso's model. In Niger, another landlocked country facing sanctions, citizens are asking why they can't do the same. In Ghana, where tolls were once scrapped because of corruption, there's talk of bringing them back with a system like Burkina Faso's, transparent, local, and effective. This is how change spreads, not with big announcements, but with results that speak for themselves. These toll stations are more than just infrastructure. They're a shift in how power is understood. For too long, power in Africa has been about force, speeches or elections. But in Burkina Faso, power is something quieter and stronger. It's a functional toll gate staffed by local workers. It's a system that tracks every penny and uses it to serve the people. It's the absence of foreign consultants, foreign loans or foreign rules. It's the confidence that comes from knowing the receipts print in Ouagadougou, not in Paris or London. This shift is uncomfortable for the world because it challenges the old story. It's easy to talk about African development when it's tied to dependency, when every road comes with a foreign flag or every hospital comes with a debt. But when a country like Burkina Faso steps outside that script, it forces everyone to rethink what's possible. If a nation under sanctions, under attack, and under pressure can build modern toll stations, what else can it do? What else can Africa do? This isn't just about Burkina Faso, it's about the future of the continent. For too long, Africa has been told it needs help to develop. It's been told to wait for loans, to follow foreign advice, to sign contracts that benefit others more than itself. But Burkina Faso is showing a different way. It's showing that development can be local, sustainable, and independent. It's showing that sovereignty isn't just a word, it's an action. It's a toll booth that works, a road that stays paved, a system that serves the people. For the people of Burkina Faso, these toll stations are more than just places to pay a fee. They're a source of pride. Imagine being a farmer like Aissata, whose tomatoes now reach the market fresh because of better roads. Imagine being a driver like Musa, who no longer pays bribes at shady checkpoints. Imagine being a student like Fatimata, who gets to school on time because buses can now reach her village. These toll stations are changing lives, one journey at a time. People in Burkina Faso are starting to feel like their country is working for them. They see the toll stations and think, this is ours, we built this, no one helped us and we did it anyway. That kind of pride can't be bought with foreign loans. It has to be earned through hard work, through action, through results. And that's exactly what Burkina Faso is doing. The toll stations are a symbol of hope, a sign that things can get better, that the future can be different, that Burkina Faso can lead the way. The toll stations are also a message to Burkina Faso's youth. More than half of the country's population is under 25, and they're watching closely. They've grown up hearing promises that never came true, seeing roads that stayed broken, and feeling like the world didn't care about their country. But now they see something different. They see toll stations that work, roads that are smooth, and a government that acts. They see a country that's building its own future, without waiting for anyone else. This is a call to the youth of Burkina Faso, and to young people across Africa. You don't have to wait for someone else to fix your country. You don't have to rely on foreign money or foreign ideas. You can build, you can innovate, you can lead. The toll stations are proof that it's possible. They're proof that a small landlocked country facing huge challenges can still achieve big things. And they're proof that the future belongs to those who act, not those who wait. Imagine a young engineer named Kofi, who helped install the electronic systems at the Kotadugu toll station. He studied hard in school, but he never thought he'd get to work on a project like this in his own country. Now he's part of something big, something that's changing Burkina Faso and inspiring others. Kofi sees the toll station every day, and it reminds him that his skills, his ideas and his work can make a difference. He's not just building toll booths, he's building a future. Burkina Faso's toll stations are a challenge to the world. They challenge the idea that Africa can't develop without help. They challenge the narrative that African countries are too poor, too chaotic, or too dependent to build their own systems. They challenge the global institutions that have tied development to debt for decades. And they challenge other African leaders to step up, to act, to build. The world isn't used to this kind of story. It's used to stories of Africa waiting for aid, waiting for loans, waiting for approval. But Burkina Faso isn't waiting anymore, it's building. And that makes the world uncomfortable, because it means the old excuses don't work anymore. If a country like Burkina Faso can build modern toll stations without foreign loans, what else can it do? What else can Africa do? The answer is clear: anything it sets its mind to. The toll stations in Bhutenga, Tintaloo and Kotadugu are just the beginning. They're not the whole story. They're the opening chapter. They show what's possible when a country decides to act instead of wait. In time, these toll stations could connect regions that have been divided for years. They could lead to new trade routes, making it easier for Burkina Faso to sell its goods to neighboring countries. They could mean safer roads for ambulances, faster routes for buses, and better access to schools and hospitals. They could create jobs, not just for construction workers, but for engineers, accountants, and tech experts who manage the systems. But the real impact is in the mindset. These toll stations are proof that Burkina Faso doesn't need to beg for its future. It can build it. And that idea is spreading. Across Africa, people are watching, leaders are noticing, young people are asking, if they can do it, why can't we? This is how a revolution starts. Not with loud protests or big promises, but with quiet, stubborn action, with steel, glass and sensors, with a toll booth that works. The road ahead is long, but it's paved with possibility. Burkina Faso's toll stations are a sign that the future is already in motion. They're a sign that Africa can build its own roads, its own systems, its own dreams, and they're a sign that sovereignty isn't just a word, it's a reality, built one toll at a time,